you so much for being here. Um, as you know, today we're focusing on sales as the main thing. We're going to be interacting with you through the chat. So if you have any sort of questions, write them in the chat. I'm going to be collecting all the questions, and at the end, we're going to basically answer all the questions. And if you stay with us all the way till the end, we'll be providing you with this cool action pack that we put together with a checklist and email templates that you can take away with you. So if you're a good student, you get that to take with you home. Remember, if you have any questions throughout, so if there's like there's a certain point where you're like, oh, I'm super confused about this section, make sure you write your comments or your points in the comments, and we'll be able to answer this at the end. Okay? Any questions before we get started? All right. James, the screen seems to be frozen. So if you could share and unshare again, it's just okay, brilliant. It's working now. Yep.
It's working? You can see it? Everyone can see it? Okay, fantastic. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. As Halima said, my name is James, and I'm responsible for selling Rebel. I bring in the money so that we can go to places around the country and put on these events. And in the past 4 years, I've brought in close to probably over about £2 million to deliver events, which many of you will have actually attended. So I'd like to think I know what I'm talking about. But I haven't always enjoyed sales. When I left school, I worked in a cold calling center, which was an absolutely horrible experience. And I was actually fired after 2 months because apparently I couldn't sell. And I spent a lot of time avoiding sales jobs thereafter. Although, to cut a long story short, I grew to like sales. I met more and more people who worked in sales, and I quickly learned it wasn't all cold calling in a boiler room. And now there isn't any other job that I'd rather be doing. Sales is exciting, it's challenging, and very rewarding, both financially and mentally. But whether you like it or not, sales is the lifeblood of business. You cannot avoid selling if you want to go into business. There's the old adage in business that cash flow is the biggest killer of any business, which it is, but where does the cash come from? Sales. If you aren't making them, find out how you can, or find someone who can, or simply stay tuned to what I'm going to tell you. You know, I'm excited to share, I guess, my secrets, have you will, with you today. I've never shared them before, so you guys and girls are getting content and insights today that is beyond what we teach you on the course itself. I believe we only have about an hour today, so I won't be covering everything, but I'll be covering 3 things that I feel are vital to know. Hopefully what I'm going to share with you today will help you increase your sales, make more money, and actually make you enjoy selling, because selling doesn't need to be a scary thing that frightens you. It certainly shouldn't be a chore that you need to do. Like I said, there is no job in business I'd rather be doing. And ideally, by the end of my presentation today, you'll feel the same way. So, out of curiosity, who can guess what the first step of any sales process is? If you could comment in the chat box, I'd be really kind of interested to see what you come up with. Let's set a timer for 1 minute starting now. The first person who gets it right, I'll give a virtual high five to. So tell me what you think the first step should be. Preparation, know, like, and trust, know who the market is, must have a product communication, know your customer. Yeah, everyone, you're great students. Everyone has got it. I'm giving so everyone, Halima is just telling me to take off my microphone because nobody can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Is that better? Can everyone hear me?
It's just that the screen is frozen, and then like it comes in and out, so it's not the best kind of quality when it comes to like hearing you, for me anyway.
Put in the chat box if you can hear me okay. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I don't have a
I can
microphone.
hear you now. I think now is really good.
Okay, everyone's saying they can hear me fine. So
Okay.
yeah, I can hear you. It sounds like it's...
Without the mic is better, yeah.
You need to get a better microphone, Salima.
Okay, so and the screen keeps freezing as well, which is really annoying.
That's because I'm switching between two. I've got presenter view and my slide up. So
No, it kind of like freezes in a weird, but I guess people can see it, so it's fine. Just carry on.
is the screen fine for everyone? Warped, says Kerry Barton. Frozen, I can see it. Yes, it works. It's weird, but okay. Okay, if you listen, the slides don't have much information on them, and the slides that do have information on, I'll read out aloud. So just pay attention. So yeah, what I asked is what comes first. Most of you got it right. It is indeed research, which is research, research, research. Moving on, got the wrong slide up. There we go. You know, if you don't know who you're selling to, how can you sell to them? Who is your ideal customer? Who is this person? What do they do? Where do they shop? Where do they live? What is their job title? How many kids do they have? You want to know everything there is to know about this person. To use our example, we sell mostly to councils. So I'm looking for heads of economic development departments, economic development managers. The economic development department is usually responsible for helping to generate economic activity. So people starting businesses in their patch is something that they will fund. Let's moving on to the next slide. What I'll do is I'll go to LinkedIn. I'll use the search function. Can everyone see on the screen right now the search function? I've got about 7 arrows pointing at the search function, just to give you a clue of where it is. Here, I want to look for their job title and the organization they work for. So for instance, up in that search function, up in the top left-hand corner of LinkedIn, I'm going to put in something like economic development manager at Birmingham City Council. And like when you search for something on Google, it will show you a list of people who match that search query. And once you've found them, look at the LinkedIn page, look at their activity. What does this person care about? From that, I will then go on to their social media presence. What does this person tweet about? Hopefully they're tweeting professionally and not just rants about their team losing at the weekend. Another thing you could do is set up Google alerts for keywords. So for example, we'd set up an alert for social impact, community investment, economic development, entrepreneurship. You want to know your industry inside out. You need to decide what keywords you will search for. You could look at press releases on company websites. What is happening at this company? Again, quarterly reports will give you a picture of what's going on as well. You can find a quarterly report often on the investor relations page of a company website. Database research usually costs actually quite a lot of money, but if you have access to it, then why not? Insiders, employers, customers, stakeholders, can you speak to anyone in their world that will give you inside information? And the reason you do this is that so you can tailor your message to them. You want to feel like you know this person. It's all about personalization. Because when we come on to the next step, which is contacting your prospect, you want to make them feel like you know them, you understand them, and you understand their needs. Because if you don't understand what their needs are, it will come across pretty quickly, and you'll see some examples of what I mean. Does that make sense to everyone before I move on? Nobody's put anything in the chat box, so you can no longer hear me, or it probably does make sense. Yep, yeah, it does. Yes. Has the screen still frozen for everyone? Anita says, I was nodding, I can't see you. So I'll just have to take your word for it that you're nodding. All good, okay, not yet. Moving on. Now we know who we want to speak to. How are we going to get in touch with them? What do you think? Leave a comment in the chat box below and tell me what you think is the best way in which to contact prospects. Let's see what we've got. Who's going to get it first? Send them a dinosaur. That's actually really interesting. Alan actually used to do something very similar. He used to send people fishing rods. Need to know they hang out. The screen goes funny each time you minimize the window. There's nothing I can do about that. Not sure what to do. Depends on what you're selling. It does depend on what you're selling. Email, phone, comment on their LinkedIn. Email depends on your target market. I mean, it does depend on your target market. I would argue that email is actually the best way in which to do it. For me, I believe that the answer is email. Emails work. Emails get through when done well. And emails, in my opinion anyway, are one of the best ways in which to get appointments. However, you should never just, I guess, there's a term called spraying and praying, which basically means you should never mass email spam people and hope that you get a response. As soon as the prospect reads it, they're going to ask, what's in it for me? And I hate to break it to you, but nobody cares about you or your business. People tend to only care about themselves. So you must ask yourself, what's in it for this person? Why should they care? Most prospects are busy people. They aren't dying to get on the phone with you. They aren't dying to have a meeting with you. However, like I said, emails do work, and good emails must do the following. One, a good email must be short. Nobody wants to read paragraphs of text. Get to the point and get to the point quickly. Two, a good email must be personalized based on the research that you have just done. Three, it must be engaging. Ask a question. Four, it must be casual. You want to treat this person like a peer, even if they're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. This person is a peer to you, you're not emailing the Queen of England. Five, give value. How could you give value? How about you send this person a personalized video? You could record something like a Loom video and send it to that prospect. You could send them a white paper. You could give them access to a free trial. You could give them an order of the website for free. What other things could you offer that would be of value? If your emails aren't ticking all of those boxes, then you're going to struggle to get a response. And just to go over those again, it must be short, be personalized, engaging, casual, and give value. And like I said, if it isn't doing those things, then it isn't likely to get a response. So next, I'm going to show you examples of emails, some of which, in my opinion, are truly awful, and others are better, and one which is very good. But I'll explain why and deconstruct it with you so you can see exactly what works and what doesn't. This is an email Halima got sent. Hi, I'm Felicia, head of collaborations at blank, and I came across your Instagram and I love your content. We're a Stockholm-based jewelry brand aiming to inspire women across the world. I would love to do a long-term collaboration with you throughout 2021. Please let me know if you'd be interested. What do you think, guys? Good or bad? And for bonus points, tell me why. Carrie Stock says, could you talk through the value part? Yeah, I'll do it again at the end. Helen's saying bad. Rob's saying bad. Deb's saying bad. Too generic. Yeah, indeed. It is a very bad email. Actually, in my opinion, this is a terrible email. To be fair, it is short, but it's all about Felicia. It's all about them. I mean, if you want to do a collaboration with someone, why not tell them why you want to? I wanted to collaborate with you because I'm so inspired by the work you do to support young women. Surely that would show you know them. You've done your research. There's absolutely no personalization. Like I said, it is short. It's, I guess, somewhat casual.
And I don't wear jewelry. That's the other thing.
You
Like,
don't wear jewelry
I
either, so
don't at all.
they don't know you at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not remotely engaging either, and it gives absolutely no value. They haven't done the research. If they'd done the research, they might have realized Halima doesn't actually wear any jewelry at all.
And she didn't know my name as well. Like, it could have been anyone she sent this email to.
Yeah.
People will say something like "Hi, Blackboard," and
Mm.
I'm like, that's not my name, but yeah.
Like you said, Halima, I'm sure this is an email that gets sent to everyone. I mean, as I was saying previously, don't spray and pray. This is an example of someone who is probably doing just that. Now we're going to go on to another email. This is the next one. So, hi, James. Checking in to get a pulse on your goals for the second.
Sorry, James, could you just like reshare it again, just because it's really hard to see.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the next email. So, hi, James. Checking in to get a pulse on your goals for the second half of the year. At Zoom Info, we rank the #1 company and contact data provider that companies in the training industry rely on for successful sales strategies. We provide innovative tools, etc., etc. If you're open to it, I'd love to share with you how our industry-leading database can accelerate your GTM results. I have no idea what a GTM result is. Any interest in connecting next week? I'd be happy to schedule 15 minutes if that works for you. Let me know, Mitchell. What do you think, guys? Good or bad? Bad. Anita says bad. Too long. Far too long. Lots of jargon. I got bored hearing it, says Anita. I got bored hearing it too, Anita. And it was sent to me. It's not clear. It's too difficult. Yeah, you're all right. It's a bad email. I mean, it's the email is better than the previous one, but it's still not good. Again, it's all about him and what he can do. I get, like, to give you an example, this email is the professional equivalent to going up to someone in a bar and telling them why they should marry you, and then getting down on one knee and proposing there and then. Like, he's literally proposing to me at the end by asking me to book in a call with him. No, why should I book in a call? What's in it for me? You wouldn't go up to someone in a bar. I hope you wouldn't go up to someone in a bar and tell them why you're amazing and why they should go out with you or why they should marry you. So why would you do it in an email? I mean, I don't care how amazing you are. I don't care, Mitchell, how your business is ranked #1.
I care about my business. I care about the problems that my business has. How can you help my business is what I want to know. And that is what anyone reading your email will want to know. He actually also got our name wrong in the subject header of the original email. So, I mean, some solid relationship advice, get their name right. You don't want to get people's names wrong. Moving on to the next email. This email caught my attention for a number of reasons. So it starts, "Hi, Jamesy." I think that the lady Kimberly has a pet name for me already. I hope you had a lovely weekend and set for a productive week ahead. I wanted to share an interesting fact that you might not be aware of. Did you know that all your website traffic, only 2% of business will actually reach out to you and inquire? That's quite an interesting stat. I'm sure you already know your monthly website traffic volumes. Say, for example, you had 5,000 visitors a month. That means on average 100 will inquire. Excellent. But what about the other 4,900, etc., etc.? If you're curious, please allow me to introduce lead forensics. She talks about what lead forensics do. And then finally, towards the bottom, she says, I would love to show you how it all works and offer you a complimentary trial so that you can see the opportunities for yourself, what day works best for you. Guys, what do you think about this email? It's a bit different to the previous. Good, bad? Better, shouty, good. Rob says he likes it. Anita says too long for me. It's still quite long, says Helen. Anita says I would remove some lines. Good, but a bit long. I think, yeah, everyone's saying that it's good, but it's not long. I mean, it's not a perfect email, considering she typoed my name at the beginning, but it's better than the other examples that we've looked at so far. I mean, the email actually offers good insight. Like, I didn't know that about the 2% rule. So, I mean, it is interesting. And she's offering me a complimentary trial. So she's offering something of value. It's also from a company that I know about. I've heard of lead forensics before, which helps. But like you guys alluded to, I think the email is very, very wordy. I'm tired just reading it. I didn't actually read the whole email to you, which tells you that I got a bit bored reading it. She probably could have cut 100 words or so, spelt my name right, and she might have had the perfect email. And just for the record, on the typo, I might sound like I'm being harsh, but in my opinion, a typo in someone's name shows like such a lack of attention and carelessness that doesn't look good. If you want someone to work with you, you don't want to show that your carelessness. You want to show that you've got good attention to detail. So we're moving on to the next email. This is the current template I use when I send emails, and I might be biased, but I would regard this as one of the best emails I've ever written. Hi, Simon. As head of economic development at blank, I'm sure reducing unemployment is a top priority at the moment. We're a national-based organization that helps those living in disadvantaged communities start up businesses. As a way to show you how we could aid with your economic recovery out of COVID, I'd love to put together a free trial for you on the house. Would you be open to finding out more, or is this a conversation better suited for Tom Smith? Regards, James. Can anyone tell me why this email is a good email? Kat says, did you write this? I did write this, yes. Specific and personal, says Helen. It is indeed. Ben says it's attention grabbing. It's short, it's to the point, and it's humorous. Kat says, then it's excellent. It was actually Simon who wrote it, Kat. Do you want to change your mind? You've done your research, you know the company structure, says Rob. It's straight into the point. You understand their needs. Exactly. what does everyone remember what the 5 golden rules were? It's short. This email is short. It's personalized, it's engaging, it's casual, and it gives value. So in the next slide, I'm actually going to deconstruct it so you can see it further. How hopefully for you guys, the screen isn't still warped, but I will take you through it. So in my opinion, here's what you need to know about this email. Like personalized.
Just for those of you that are probably thinking, oh my God, I need to write this down. This is going to be in that, the worksheet that I'm going to give you guys at the end of this workshop. So don't worry, just pay attention to what he's saying. This is the most important thing.
Thanks, Halima. Yeah, everything after this call will be sent to you guys. So if the screen is warped for whatever reason, you'll get all this information sent to you. But I'll make sure to read it all out so you understand what's going on. So yeah, in my opinion, here's what you need to know about this email. So the email that I sent, by the way. So personalization must go beyond someone's name. Hi, Simon isn't personalized. Personalization is showing Simon that I know who he is and what he does. I know who you are and I want to speak to you, but you can take me seriously is what I'm saying. It's not until the second sentence that I've made reference to who we are. And even then, it's only a brief section about us, but it shows we understand his problem based on the research that we've done. And like I said before, it's all about giving value. The email is a value offer. I'm offering him a free trial with us. You don't have to offer someone a free trial, but you should be offering some sort of value up front. I also believe every email should end with a question, which makes it, as one of the 5 golden rules, it makes it engaging. Showing him I know his colleague is called Tom Smith is another example of personalization. It shows Simon that I know my shit and I'm better than all the other crappy emails he gets. I've done my homework. So you've sent the perfect email and nothing, no response. It's been days now and still nothing but tumbleweed. What do you do? Tell me in the comments section below. I'd really like to see what you think. Emma says follow up. Patricia says you can call them. Helen says follow up. You guys are the best. You know everything. You don't need to be here. Everyone's saying follow up. Sounds like you guys should be delivering this workshop instead of me. Fantastic. Yeah, you do indeed follow up. Does anyone want to guess how many follow-up emails I send? How many follow-up emails do you think I send? Melissa says 2, Emma says 2, Rob says 2, Anita says 3. Everyone's going for about 2 or 3. Deb says 5. Debs and Patricia are actually the closest. I usually send in the region of 5 to 7 follow-up emails. And you'll be glad I'm not going to go through all 7 right now, but every email should be based on the 5 golden rules. And the idea of following up with someone 7 times used to make me feel very, very awkward. But if you think back to our sales day at the Rebel Business School, how many times do you need to ask someone something to get them to say yes? 7. 7 is the magic number. In actual fact, I often get a response around the 3rd email. Sometimes it will be, no, please stop emailing me. And sometimes it will be, yes, let's meet. But if you don't follow up, then you'll never know. It's also worth pointing out, follow-ups only work if your initial email is of value. You can send 7 follow-ups, but if what you're offering is completely worthless to me, then I'm unlikely ever to reply. A few people are saying, Emma Can says 7 emails over what period? I usually follow up. So I do the follow up probably every other day, maybe extend it. So it's after 3 days I follow up, and another 3 days I follow up. Anita says, are your follow-ups in that 7 calls as well? Sometimes I will do a phone call as well if I have the person's number. With COVID now, a lot more people are working from home, so I don't have home phone numbers and things like that. Melissa says, how do you make sure it doesn't come across as bugging? If you're annoying the person, Melissa, they will tell you pretty quickly. Anita says that yes, they will tell you pretty quickly. Yeah, they do. Do you speak from experience, Anita? Oh, yes. So what I'm going to show you next is an example of a follow-up email that I send. Yeah, this is an example of a follow-up email I send. Simon, I know you must get tons of emails a day, but I really believe would be a good fit to help you and your team recover from the impact of COVID-19 by starting businesses in Cornwall. Our latest research shows that 8% of the UK's population want to start a business. So based on that, you have an estimated 44,000 people who want to start a business in Cornwall. However, our research also suggests that over 95% of people we worked with last year, 2,500 in total, said starting a business with a loan is a massive barrier. So the reality is a significant number of them never will. Would you be interested in finding out how we can help your community start up debt-free, thus reducing unemployment and getting your economy moving again? Regards, James. P.S. If I'm barking up the wrong tree and simply annoying you, please tell me. This email is all about offering insight and showing Simon I know my stuff. I've done my research on his area and he should talk to me. Does it follow the 5 golden rules? Is it short? Yeah, I mean, it's longer than the previous email, but yes, it's still fairly short. Is it personalized? Yes, look at all that data about his area and the population sizes. It certainly is personalized. Is it casual? Yeah, it's fairly casual email. Is it engaging? Yes. Again, I've finished with a question. And does it give value? Yes. In the previous thread, I offered a free trial, but in this email, it shows I'm the one who is of value. He should speak to me because I know my stuff and I can help him. Does everyone understand that? Dominic says, nice email. Anita, longer, but I like it. You guys are too kind to me. Yeah, it makes sense. So moving on to the next slide. You've got a meeting now. Oh, what happened? Have I just lost the screen, guys? Yeah, I think I've just lost the screen. 1 second. I don't know what's happened. Technical difficulties. Share screen. There we go. Can you guys all see it now? I'm not sure what happened. Yeah. Fantastic. I must have clicked on the X by accident. Fantastic. So now you've got a meeting. They've emailed back and said, let's meet, which is fantastic. You get dressed up, you go to the meeting, you exchange formalities, you build some rapport. What do you do next? Does anyone know what the first thing you should say is? Thank you. Melissa says thank you. Kat says thank you. Great to finally meet you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. How are you? Excited to meet you. Set the agenda, says Anita. I mean, these are good ideas. And yes, some of them are right. What I will tell you is what not to say for now. So you should never, ever, ever what's called show up and throw up to a meeting, basically meaning you should never pitch your business right off the bat. Like I said, people only care about themselves. They don't really care about you. You need to make this about them. Make sense? Yep. Everyone says, yeah, good. Like I said before, prospects don't care about you. It's making people sound like they're really evil, but most people just care about themselves and what's in it for them. So the first thing that you should do is show the prospect you know what you're talking about. You are of value. They need to listen to you. You are the expert. If you're seen as the expert, they will want to work with you. But how can you do that? Does anyone want to take a guess on how you can position yourself as the expert? Melissa says, why do you keep making your screen look funny? I'm not doing it intentionally, Melissa. It just looks funny. And as Halima said, we'll send you all the notes afterwards. Just pay attention to what I'm saying. Hopefully what is coming out of my mouth is more value than what is on the screen. Confidence, says Melissa, quantifiable data, testimonials, do the research, examples of previous works, says Ben. Tell them about your credentials and experience. Should about you, previous satisfied customers like them. Good. What you need to do, so here's the answer. What you need to do is show them you understand the industry that you're in. So what I do is I say something along the following lines, and you'll want to write this down, or we will send you notes afterwards, but this is essentially what I say at the start of meetings after I've exchanged formalities. Right now, we're seeing lots of other customers like you who are struggling with blank, finding it difficult to do blank, and are stuck with blank. Do any of these issues resonate with you? That is the perfect way to start a sales conversation. You instantly position yourself as someone who understands the needs of the industry and what is going on. And you're getting them to talk about what their problems are. It's your job to show them how you're going to solve those problems. Of course, you need to find out what the blanks are. I can't be the one to sit here and tell you what they are. You need to do the research for your industry and find out what the biggest challenges are, what are customers struggling with. For example, for the Rebel Business School, I would say something along the lines of, right now we're seeing lots of other customers like you who are struggling to engage young people, finding it difficult to help people start businesses during the COVID crisis, and are stuck with engaging with minorities. Do any of these issues resonate with you? And then they will talk to you about the issues that resonate with them, so you can then see their challenges and problems, because that's what sales is really about. Sales is about finding someone with a problem and providing them with a solution for a cost. Sales is not about thinking your business is amazing and ramming it down everyone's throat in the hope that someone finally says yes. Does all of that make sense, guys? Jennifer says, you're solving the issue. You're exactly doing that indeed. You're solving the issue that they have. Helen says, I need to work out my blanks. Deb says, yay. Ben says, yes. Jennifer says, yes. Fantastic. And I mean, that is that for today anyway. Of course, in reality, sales is something that you want to invest in learning long term. I mean, I've been working at Rebel for well over 4 years, and I'm still learning new things about how to sell all the time. But what I believe I've shared with you today should help you build the foundations for being really successful at selling. I mean, thank you guys so much for being here and allowing me to share my knowledge with you. I still have a bit of time left over, so I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Alternatively, if anyone has any emails or templates that they already have and they'd like me to deconstruct it, I promise I'll be nice. I'll be a lot nicer than I was to Felicia from the jewelry company. I do need to make a hard stop at 1:30, but I believe we've got about just over 10 minutes to go. So fire away, put them in the chat blocks below and I will come to them. Melissa says, can you cover the first half of the hour that I missed? Just as well, you're joking. All jokes aside, Melissa, this has been recorded. We're going to put it somewhere on the website for you to watch at a later date. But thanks very much for being here anyway and engaging with us. What is everyone saying? Patricia says, how do you measure what you're doing on the progress of your sales? You really kind of measure it based on how well it's going. You can quickly see if emails are working or not very, very quickly, but based on if people are responding or not. Like I said, I send 7 emails usually, 7 follow-ups, sorry. But if nobody responds to any of those, you know you probably have a problem. Rob says, are templates not considered generic? What do you mean, Rob? Thank you, James. I can now match a face with a voice. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Melissa. Debs, I see that you have a very, I guess, niche industry. I guess people wouldn't be on LinkedIn. Perhaps you could try Twitter. For, I guess, you work in the kink scene. So yeah, it's not easy to use LinkedIn for that. So perhaps you use Twitter. There's probably niche specific networks. Emma says, do you think this method works with individuals? Yeah, it works with everyone, I believe. You just need to really kind of tailor the message based on the individual. I hope that helps, Emma. Me says, how do you approach if you're selling products like jewelry and scarf? So to use the example of Felicia, who approached Halima, if I was selling jewelry, I'd want to get my jewelry in shops. So I would message people like buyers, owners of different jewelry places, and I would send them emails like this, and try and really understand the challenges that they have, like finding quality jewelry to sell, or finding cost-effective jewelry. I don't really understand the challenges that exist in the kind of the retail jewelry space, but I would definitely say that you could definitely email owners of jewelry shops, buyers, people like that. I hope that helps. Jennifer says, I too missed the first half hour. Yeah, check it out on the Rebel Business School website. If you haven't signed up to if you guys haven't signed up to Rebel on Demand yet, Rebel on Demand is essentially like a BBC iPlayer style of system on our website. So It's a place that you can watch content all over again. It's available 24/7. So if you can't sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can go on that. What has happened to the chat box? Someone just stopped it.
So I've stopped sharing the screen because it's just a yellow slide.
My chat box disappeared at the same time, Halima. Where did it go? What was I saying? Yeah. If you want to use the Rebel on Demand system, that is likely where this video will be. Rebel on Demand is available 24/7. So if you can't sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can go on Rebel on Demand. Hopefully it won't put you to sleep though. Dominic says, what system process do you use for keeping track of sales? I use a CRM system called Zoho. Melissa says you could use Excel to keep track of emails and the responses you get. Yes, you can. But for scale, I would say if you're sending thousands of emails, I would use a CRM system. But whilst you're starting out, using something like Excel is fairly cost effective and shouldn't cost you any money. Emma says, are your 7 emails all following the key 5 steps you mentioned, i.e. they give value? I wouldn't probably give value in all of the emails, Emma. So as long as the general campaign is about giving value. So if email 1 is about giving a free trial, you don't need to offer them another free trial in the 7th email. You just need to make reference to it again. Rob says you could use MySpace. You could use MySpace. I don't know if MySpace still exists. You could use Bebo. Yeah, back when the days when people used carrier pigeons. Should I follow up once a week? You can follow up once a week. Like, you guys really need to kind of, I guess, try this out for yourselves and see what works. I wouldn't say there's really a right or wrong answer in terms of when you should follow up. I usually do it every other day. That's because I'm really impatient. But if you want to wait a week, I can't speak today. So if you want to wait a week, wait a week. If you are impatient like me, wait a couple days. But what I will do often when I send follow-up emails is I will say something like, please excuse the follow-up email, or I'll make reference to the email I sent. So I sent you this email on Wednesday. I'm just following up. So I try to be as courteous as possible. What else have we got? Jennifer says, I make natural plant-based soap. Who could I contact to sell the soap? Could I email supermarkets? Yeah, you could email supermarkets. I would start with emailing buyers at different shops. I'm sure there are lots of different kind of independent shops in the town or the city that you live in that sell plant-based soaps. You could contact their buyers, their managers, send them emails, and like I said, allude to the challenges that are going on in the marketplace. I don't know much about soap, so that would be my best advice.
For that, like, for you to know exactly who to send these emails to, is understand the research part has to be extensive. Like, you really need to focus a lot on the research and making sure that you really do put in the time to think about, like, who would buy my soap, thinking about maybe interviewing people like that might be your the person that you want to buy from you. So say somebody in your network would be a potential person that might want to buy your products, or even collaborate with you to create like a third product, whatever it is. You really have to kind of like understand them, get them on a Zoom call, ask them loads and loads of questions, and have like almost like a booklet, like where it's like, you know them more than they know themselves. You know who they follow, who, you know, what they like, what blogs they read every day, what kinds of books they're into. So you're really doing quite like a thorough research, and then everything else just comes like naturally when it comes to like, okay, I know exactly who I need to send these emails to. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks, Halima. Has anyone else got any other questions?
And that for him.
Has anyone got any email templates that they want me to go through?
So I've attached the sales action pack. It took me a little while, but I've kind of like figured out how to do it through Zoom. So all you have to do is just click on it and download it. But the idea of these sessions, right, James, is that you're not just sitting here every month and listening. Now it's time to take action, right? So James, what would you say to them in terms of like, as soon as they get off this call and they need to take the next steps, do you have any kind of like action plan for them to do?
I mean, I would say, we really kind of rammed this message to you at the Rebel Business School. Like, done is better than perfect. So you're never gonna, not never, but like, it's going to take a long time to perfect something. So I would just say, get out there and send emails. Just get out there and speak to customers and really understand what's going on in the marketplace. And like I said, position yourself as that expert, that trusted source that the customer can speak to. But like I said, yeah, it's going to take a long time to actually really perfect this. I've been in this job for 4 years. I'm still learning all about sales. So if you want to wait until you're perfect, your competition will be beating you out of the marketplace quite quickly. Anita says, I need to find more time for my website and my social media, which needs more work. I would argue it's all about sales. The other guys in the team would probably be quite cross for me saying that, but I think sales is the most important aspect of business. Like I said, if the money's not coming in, business is going to go south quite quickly. So learn how to do sales, or learn from someone who can, like myself, or hire someone that can if you've got the money to do that as well. Anita says, I focus on my sales first, then my website and social media after. Yeah, like social media social media is good for kind of brand awareness, but it's not bringing in money. So I would say focus on sales first, get that money in, and then focus on everything else. We've got exactly a minute to go, unless anyone else doesn't have any other questions. I'm gonna head off because I need to make a hard stop at 1:30. But like I said, it's been really great to share all this information with you. And it will be on Rebel On Demand at some point. So sign up to Rebel On Demand if you haven't already. Rebel On Demand is